Hello, I'm Suzanne Roynon. I am a feng shui practitioner, a writer for publications and media around the world, and I'm also the author of a book called Welcome Home: How Stuff Makes or Breaks Your Relationships. And I am here to talk to you about some of the predictions we have for the year of the fire horse. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you take something away from it because you know, there's a lot to expect in this coming year, and we want to be able to make the most of it to get the best outcomes for us and the people we love. So keep watching. Right now, we are living in the middle of a major shift. Every time the world moves from one cycle to another, there's a period of uncertainty, of instability, just before things settle down. And that's where we are now, the early years of a new era. So we finished cycle 8 in February 2024 and moved into cycle 9. But the old energy of cycle 8 hasn't quite finished, and the new energy of cycle 9 hasn't quite settled yet. But cycle 9 is a fire period, and fire brings visibility, speed, passion, and truth. It can warm and inspire, but it can also feel intense. And if we're not prepared for it, and fire can burn. It doesn't allow us to stay still. It asks us to move, to evolve, and then to respond. And the ladder is there for you to do whatever you want to do during this fire period, and especially in the year of the fire horse. But it is your job to climb it. So the core energies of the fire horse year are that it's fast moving, highly visible, and unforgiving of stagnation. Now, if you want to just turn off the video and listen to the sound, you're driving or something like that, I think that's a really great idea. And for that reason, I am going to elaborate on what's on each of these slides. So you don't need to be looking at the slides, but it might really help you just to listen in. So the first part of this session is about progress, expansion, and effort. Study and upskilling are rewarded. Promotion, professional growth, and recognition come through preparation and intention. But this doesn't happen without effort, focus, wisdom, sincerity. It's a year when the one star at the center of our homes supports intelligence, communication, learning, and strategy. So study and research and upskilling are really well supported this year. Children and students can do really well academically, and anyone seeking promotion, recognition, or professional growth will find doors opening for them, but only if they prepare and act with good intention. Success this year isn't about luck. It belongs to those who are willing to adapt and take personal action. Now, what I think is really, really important to say is that we have to teach our children that education is their right. For so long, it's been a song, oh, you've got to go to school. No, listen, education is the be all and end all in whatever way your child can learn. So, if your kids are refusing or you don't think it matters, it really, really does. There has never been a generation so damaged by an inability to access education as those in the last 5 or 6 years have experienced. So education is a right. Please take it, because success, as I said, isn't about luck. It belongs to those who are ready to adapt and take action. And it's also about collaboration. Fire energy strengthens globally, and we move away from doing everything on our own. Partnerships matter. Teamwork matters. We're also entering a new phase where human creativity and technology are merging. It's much, much deeper than it's ever been before. But artificial intelligence doesn't replace us. It amplifies us. So those who learn how to work with technology rather than fear it will redefine their industries in creativity, education, and medicine. We're looking at the beginning of a new form of innovation. So use AI in a positive way to amplify you, but not replace you. And feminine energy continues to rise. Emotionally and relationally, feelings are going to run high this year. Passion, attraction, and creativity are strong. A horse is an earthy animal. Think about those earthy passions, the need for security and stability. And that's what will draw people into relationships too. But the thing is, along with that comes temptation and confusion. And fire can fuel love or it can burn it. And for some people, this year is going to bring deeply meaningful connections and those long-term bonds. Whereas for others, it's going to reveal what no longer works, can't continue anymore. And you've got to handle this with honesty and clarity, if that's you. But with that clarity, you might find that a relationship that even feels as though it's been on the rocks can actually deepen. It's getting that clear headspace when you think about your relationships instead of being driven by ego or avoidance, because that's only going to ignite conflict. Now, as the feminine energy rises, women are going to step into greater visibility, influence, and leadership. And with that comes emotional intensity and restlessness. Men are asked to adapt, and many rediscover balance in their lives. They've spent so long having to be the one, haven't they? But through empathy, through kindness, through humility, and within families, the dynamics can shift. And the children are going to start speaking truths that challenge their elders. Generations might well clash, but they will learn from one another, and peace will come through conversation, not control. So communicate. Communication is everything. So moving forward into the predictions. Firstly, let's look at the environmental extremes. We have such a restless earth, and the world reflects this restlessness. We've got climate extremes, floods, fires, droughts, unexpected cold spells, huge hot spells, sometimes in the same place in the same year. But we're going to see a lot more in terms of the water overwhelming the land and the earth cracking up in other places. Earthquakes, environmental shocks, unpredictable weather patterns, they are all going to mirror the imbalance between yin and yang, the lightness and the darkness playing out globally. And that's not just in the weather, it's in politics, systems within ourselves. But imbalance isn't the end of the story, because it is often where growth begins. And that is what's so important for this year, to just tune into that growth. So let's talk about the skies for a moment. We've seen so much in the last year and a half, haven't we? Solar activity massively increasing. We've seen the aurora borealis and the aurora australis in places where nobody can remember ever seeing it before. Right down in the south of America, across the equatorial regions to the south of England. We never used to see the aurora, now we do. So that solar activity is telling us that there's so much more going on energetically. Now, what I do want to say is that air travel does remain safe, but flexibility is going to be key and very, very important. And I'll say this to you, and you'll probably hear me say it again later on. If you are flying this year, book yourself some contingency in. You can expect delays, you can expect cancellations. Always book with a reputable carrier, so that you know that even if your flight is delayed, they'll lay on another one, or they will put on a new aircraft, whatever you need to get you to the place you need to be. But what I will say is, if you need to be at a conference, at a wedding, at something special, a birthday, if you need to be around the world on a particular date, fly earlier. Don't be one of those last minute Nancy's who gets on the plane at 6 a.m. in the morning to be at a wedding in the south of France at midday, because the odds are you're not going to make it. So Contingency when you're flying, choose reputable carriers and always add in some extra time. Make sure you've got something to do at the airport and make sure you've got your charger for your phone because you might well need it. Okay. The challenge of infrastructure and the outages that we are going to be seeing. There are going to be moments of sudden and unexpected and often unwelcome stillness. Excuse my voice. Systems may pause. Infrastructure or power supplies may be interrupted. Berlin has lost its power for a day or two just this week. And across the UK today, there are huge power outages. Is it deliberate? Is it accidental? We are going to see a lot more of it. So it's going to be really important to take this on board. These moments aren't just disruptions, they're messages. They force us to slow down. They force us to notice how much constant noise we're living with, how many distractions we live with, how we reach for our phone. We'll check out television. We'll be doing something else always, rather than listening to our inner voice. So when things briefly stop, people are going to turn inward a lot more. Families will talk more. Neighbours might help one another. Always a great thing to do to check in on your neighbours. And these pauses are symbolic of 2026 itself because clarity often arrives when everything goes quiet. So if you're forced to slow down, let's think about this. What do you need to do? What do you need to prepare? Well, it makes sense to have extra batteries in your house, doesn't it? It makes sense to have candles, whether they are battery-driven candles or real ones. Just use them safely, folks. Make sure that you've got charging blocks for your phones and they are always charged and up to date. Bear in mind that you won't have internet, you won't have TV, you won't be able to boil the kettle, you won't be able to put the heating on. Extra blankets. What else do you need? Is it worth, if you have room, keeping some spare bottles of water in the place? All of these things will make things more comfortable for you. These disruptions are going to be inevitable. It's going to be a case of, okay, it's happened. What can I do right now to keep myself occupied until the power comes back up? It won't just be a power, it might be that we have road slips or bridge failures or the trains stop working. All sorts of things might count. So infrastructure covers a huge, big gamut of stuff. Just be aware that there will be disruptions during this year. Now, financially, this is a powerful year. We've got a 9 and a 1 combination at the centre of every home, and that supports recognition, opportunity, and wealth creation. Remember, folks, your feng shui centre is all about your health and well-being, but that 9 and the 1 are going to support wealth. So keep the centre of your homes clear of clutter, rubbish, and anything else that's getting in the way of, number 1, your health and well-being, and number 2, creating more wealth. So for those who are ready to step forward, there is a strong support for expansion, investment, and new ventures. Old ideas can return with fresh energy and unexpected opportunities may appear. This is not a year to hide or to wait. It's a year to act with courage and confidence. But don't fall for those get rich quick, run to the back of the room and sign up right now situations. Research them and act. It doesn't take a moment to pull out your phone, check out the person, find out what people say about them. Research, then act. And then if you want to run to the back of the room and sign up, fantastic. But you're going in with your eyes open. So in terms of breakthroughs and innovations, we are going to be seeing technology and science continuing to accelerate. We're going to hear about major developments in medicine, healing, regeneration, and longevity. What once felt totally impossible begins to feel reachable. And that's amazing. It's especially amazing for those of us in midlife or anybody over 30 who is, seeing their parents and grandparents' conditions health-wise deteriorate. Now we're looking at cures, we're looking at fixes, we're looking at ways forward to keep us all healthier long term. So with progress comes responsibility. Advancement without wisdom can create fire without control. This year reminds us to move forward thoughtfully, not blindly. And on that basis, I strongly recommend that you don't just believe what you read on Twitter or Facebook. You do your own research, because you will be astonished how many, it is really, really incredible, eminent doctors that you might believe everything you see. You'll sit and watch a presentation that lasts for an hour while they're asking you for money and to pay for this pill or that lotion or this, that, and the other. If you Google their names, you find out they don't even exist. So check those things out before you fall into it. Okay, real estate and moving a house. Now, this is something that from the feng shui perspective is very, very important to know about. Real estate, feng shui, these are both earth industries. And what happens with earth and fire is that the fire dries the earth, and this creates fast-moving energy, which brings pressure and unpredictability. So we're likely to see strong initial interest in property at the beginning of the year, followed by hesitation when it comes to committing. So you might find that if you find your dream home, you then dither about making the commitment to it. Now, that's not always going to be a good plan, because you might well find that somebody with more horse energy comes and sweeps your dream home out from under your feet. So I recommend, if you found the right place, you don't hang around. You actually get that in the bag, get it at the contract stage, make sure that you get the home that you want. Now, conventional approaches are going to feel very strained. There are some great ways of buying property around the world. There are some really diabolical ones. And I think we are going to see moves towards property purchasing in some countries become a lot easier. You're going to need to be adaptable. You're going to see a lot more of the affordable options gain traction. So if you're thinking about buying a spot of land and building super large houses, you might well find that it is more profitable for you to build houses which are smaller, but that truly support the energy of the people who are going to live in them. It doesn't hurt any developer to use feng shui to get the best out of those properties, and they will sell better for you. You won't have them sitting empty for years. Large houses, they're going to need to be in really, really good condition. So again, feng shui your house before you try and sell it, and get some good advice, because it's going to be a challenging market. Now, the best timing for buying or selling a house is going to be October to December. Lots of you will be thinking, that's the wrong time of year. It's going to be when things start to calm down. So think about what you want. Prepare your house. If you're going on the market this year, prepare. It's so important. Make sure that you have good advice about what your home needs to be seen and sold at its best. Get a great estate agent, get superb photos. And I'm not talking about a guy in a shiny suit turning up with an iPhone. You want professional photographs, and go to an agent that includes those photos in your package, because many of them don't. You'd be astonished to know. So I want you to prioritize your value and practicality and avoid risk and overspending. It's going to be so important this year. So politically and globally, my goodness, what a year it's going to be. So socially, 2026 is loud, but it's clear just at the same time. And voices rise, truth surfaces, and illusions fall away. not a moment too soon. What is artificial, misleading, or driven by hidden agendas becomes harder to sustain. And you'll find that authority is questioned, but with truth comes responsibility. And with that responsibility should come compassion, not retaliation. We are going to see leadership under scrutiny. We are going to see sudden policy changes. We are going to find rapid escalation. We're already seeing that in the shadow of the firehorse. This month has seen some quite remarkable things going on already in the world. But the fact is that the firehorse energy is going to amplify the pressure and the visibility. So a lack of integrity will be exposed, and adaptability is rewarded. I hate saying be patient, but cleaner, healthier, non-corrupt politics is feasible if only we all stand firm and we use our voices for the good. When it comes to afterwards, there is no value to anybody in retaliating against people who voted to bring in regimes which are not supportive of the people they're supposed to serve. Better to help them relearn just what life should be all about. Enough said, I think. So, the burn. And this is in your family life, in your work life, wherever, friendship groups, and also globally. Exposure is immediate. The fire means that fame spreads fast, but it also means that scandals surface quickly and weak foundations collapse. Now, if you are doing something on the sly, you're trying to cover up something that maybe you shouldn't have been doing, it will turn up, it will come out, and there will be the revelations. So it's really important, I think, just to say that, beneath this intensity, the intensity of this fire year, something beautiful is going to happen, because people are going to remember the value of connection. Communities are going to strengthen. Families will rebuild. Those families that have been shattered over the last decade because of one political view against another political view, separated by conflict, which meant that families are on two different sides of a border or separated completely, they're going to start to rebuild. Collaboration is going to replace competition. We've got to work together to make this a better world. And creativity emerges from the chaos. So with understanding, which is growing from learning that this conflict is not helping any of us, the same fire that once overwhelmed us starts to warm us again. And by October, we should be seeing a lot more of the energy moving towards people coming back to one another. So the human message is all about alliances becoming strengthened, false friendships being revealed, setting great boundaries for yourself and the people that you love, and recognizing, as I said, that understanding will grow from that conflict. Start to appreciate the people around you. We are a mixed and glorious world, and that's what makes us really, really special. So appreciate that, and it will pay off. Now, children and young adults, we've seen in the last 10 years or so this extraordinary rise in children and young adults with very, very sensitive ways of living. And a lot of that, you could say, might be about lockdowns or whatever conspiracy theory somebody is spouting. The fact is, we have a lost generation of children who have grown up being reliant, being babysat by screens, by social media, by reality TV. But the one thing they haven't learned to do is live in the real world. They are being overprotected or abandoned. And those children who've been abandoned. It's not like kids in the past who made a choice about pulling themselves up by their bootstraps and getting on with it and making their life what they want it to be. These children and young people are lost right now. They need mentorship. So if that's your kids, find them mentors, because you can guarantee that kids don't really like listening to their mum and dad, because, as you know, as parents, we know nothing, do we? So our kids might think it's only when they get into their 30s that they realise that we are a fount of all wisdom. But what I'd like to say to you is there will be mentors out there. There will be community groups. There will be people that you can ask for referrals to. Don't automatically assume that because your child can't cope with a lot of noise, a lot of stimulation, that they have a diagnosis. It could just be that you've protected them so well from the rigors of real life, they don't know how to manage it. So bear in mind that, and if you can mentor a young adult into a new job, into finding out about real life, how to manage a bank, how to do this, and their banking as opposed to going and managing a bank, although obviously, set them some targets, mentor them into work, mentor them into jobs that they enjoy. Because right now, they don't know what they're doing. And for you, it's so important to stay centered. Spiritually, the steam that's created by there's so much water we're going to see in terms of these floods, and then this incredible fire energy reminds us that energy rises, and we want to make sure it's guided, because if it's not guided, it's going to scatter in all sorts of random directions and we won't be able to focus on anything. So practices like meditation, learning, creativity, and reflection, take that time out to read and learn. They will help refine the fire energy that's around you. And those who remain calm and focused will change and rise the fastest and the highest. So we're going to go very quickly through the industries. Now, if you've not been on a call like this before, we're going to just talk about an overview of the elements of feng shui: fire, earth, wood, water, and metal, and the energy that the certain industries involved in those groups will evolve with. So we're going to look at the industries which will accelerate, those which will be under strain, and those where adaptability is going to define success. So just on the off chance that you are listening to this while you're driving, I'm also going to read out an overview of the industries in each group, just to help you on your way. So let's start with the fire industries. Now, these include technology and IT, aviation and airlines, surgery and medical procedures, marketing, PR and branding, artificial intelligence, robotics, creative studios and design, energy and electrical industries, media and social media, entertainment and the performing arts, and beauty, fashion and aesthetics. For these industries, you're going to see fast growth and high visibility. It's going to be a rapid momentum. You will get strong public exposure if you choose, and you will see quick rewards, but you'll also see quick consequences if you do anything that isn't appropriate or it's wrong. You will get burned. So work with the energy, not against it. It will absolutely pay off. So if you're in the fire industry, move boldly, but don't rush your integrity. Visibility will bring opportunity and instant consequences, so choose clarity over speed and protect your reputation at all costs. The wood industries. Now, these include education and teaching, publishing, writing and content, creation, wellness and holistic health, herbal medicine and natural therapies, agriculture, farming and forestry, textiles, clothing and fabric, furniture, carpentry and woodcraft, charity, mentoring and coaching, and environmental and sustainability work. So these are the wood industries. And what they're going to experience is growth in the early part of the year and then an energy drain later. So let's focus on getting some early expansion, shall we? Keep learning, keep being creative, and be ready that you're going to get that fatigue later in the year. So if you are in one of these industries, it's going to feel like feast and then famine. So while you're earning well in the beginning of the year, put some of that away to get you through the last 5 to 6 months of the year, because you are going to do better if you take the time to do that. Don't go spending it all on a big holiday. So if you're in the wood industries, use the early momentum wisely. Go create and expand in the first 6 months of the year, and then conserve your energy for the remainder. This is not a year to exhaust yourself by proving your worth. Right, the earth industries. So we talked briefly about real estate and property, but other industries involve, say, construction and development, architecture and building design, hotels and hospitality, insurance, warehousing and logistics, landscaping and gardening, mining, ceramics and stone, and recycling and waste management. Now, the stability of these earth industries is going to be tested. That fire is drying out the earth, and that means you are going to experience this uneven performance. Your buyers are going to be cautious, and you're just going to need to be a little bit more practical this year. Manage your budgets. Be realistic that some months are just not, you're not going to hit target, and that's all there is to it. Don't go sacking your staff or losing your best people because you've got a couple of wavery months. You've got to be practical about what you're going to need moving forward. So where you've got the good months, put some away for the not so good months, and it will pay off for you. So if you're in an earth industry, stay grounded and practical. Make smaller, flexible choices because they will outperform grand gestures, and your patience and stability will quietly outperform urgency. The metal industries. So this includes banking and finance, law and legal services, accounting and auditing, automotive and manufacturing, machinery and engineering, cybersecurity and data protection, jewellery and luxury goods, aviation manufacturing, and government and regulatory bodies. Pressure and restructuring. So you're going to be under a lot more scrutiny. You're going to have much, much tighter margins. Don't expect to see those huge bonuses this year. Work with what you have, and you'll find that conservative strategies succeed. So if you are working in a metal industry, simplify and strengthen your foundations. This is not a year for aggressive expansion. Fire melts metal. And conservative decisions will protect you from unnecessary exposure. You don't want to get burned. Now, the water industries. These include travel and tourism, shipping and maritime, e-commerce and online trade, the stock market, forex and trading, consulting and advisory work, communications and journalism, recruitment agencies, coaching and personal development, health, therapy, and healing. So it's going to be volatile, but it is full of opportunity. There are going to be rapid shifts. There's no way against that. You know, you're going to have to go with the flow. There is no point, if you think about the way a stream works, there's no point in standing in that stream and telling it to go in another direction. It's not happening. So go with the flow always. There will be strong short-term gains, but you need to be flexible and agile. And as I said earlier, always have that contingency for travel disruption. So stay fluid and responsive. Opportunities appear and vanish quickly. So grab them while they're there. Move fast, but never emotionally or greedily. And always, always, no matter what industry you are in, act with integrity. Because if you don't, you will be found out in the fire horse year. So the big message is that as 2026 comes to a close, the turbulence will start to ease. So sort of from October, November onwards, it will start to feel a little bit more, thank goodness that's nearly done. It won't be done quite yet. You've just got to keep going, keep remembering what you've learned. But what once felt intense will feel more supportive. And the people who use this year to grow and reconnect and learn will step into 2027 stronger and a lot more stable. So use this forecast for clarity, not fear. And I am going to read this out for you. No forecast is ever meant to frighten. It's simply a map, a way to see where the energy is flowing and where it needs care and attention. The flying stars we use in feng shui show tendencies, not destiny. They might suggest what would be going on in a house, for example. But if you can adapt and edit those feng shuis, if you can suppress the negativity and boost the positivity, then your choices and your actions and your mindset matter more than any chart. So when life feels loud, return to your center. When the world gallops, move with intention. When opportunities appear, rise to meet them. When challenges come, use your calm and your courage. When chaos rises, your balanced home will support you. And on that note, it would be wrong of me to complete this session without reminding you that having your home feng shui will help you to make the most of the fire horse energy, not just for you, but for the people who love you, live with you. And if you're going to take this into your working environment, then also people who work with you. So you can book a 30-minute video inspiration call with me for immediate guidance and action. I will walk around your home with you and I will tell you if there's something that I think isn't working for you and explain why. Now, you can choose what you want to do with that information, but that is the start to working with me and having your feng shui done, because the one thing that I will always do with feng shui clients is get to know their homes. I work with you, I support you, and I hold your hand each step of the way. We communicate, we make sure that you get it right. I'm never going to just send you a report and expect you to manage that on your own or by asking questions in a Facebook group. When you work with me, you work with me. So in an inspiration call, you'll show me around your home. You'll get that immediate recommendation and guidance to create a happier, healthier, and more successful space for you and the people you love in 2026. So what the fire horse asks of us: to move with integrity, to choose people wisely, to let stagnation go. We let stagnation go no matter what the year. Do not surround yourself with clutter, memories of things which make you unhappy. Don't be like somebody I've been working with recently who has made so much space in her home for things that hold her in the past that there isn't actually anywhere to put things for right now. And that's a shame. Less fear, more realization. This presentation isn't about filling your hearts with fear. It's about helping you understand how much you have to gain from this year. So it's a year of evolution. I'm going to recommend that you take the reins and hold on tight, because that's always going to be a better option than being trampled or getting your foot caught in a stirrup and being dragged along beside the horse while everybody else does well and you're just wondering why you missed out. It's going to be a fast, dynamic, and intense year. Be part of it. So I'd like to thank you for joining me for this guide to the year of the fire horse. I hope it's been interesting. I hope it might have inspired you to think differently about this year and to consider getting your home feng shuied so that you can work with the energy of the year and the unique energy of your home moving forward now and in the future. So I wish you a happy, healthy, and successful 2026. And thank you for spending this time with me. Bye now.